Good afternoon, Superkickin with Steven fans, your favorite host, Stephen A. 1181, right here to kind of give you my thoughts on Raw, on SmackDown, on AEW Friday Night Dynamite, and of course get into NXT Takeover predictions. I'm riding solo today. No Greg today. He had to go head off to work, so he'll be back next week for our Hell in a Cell show. And then we got, I think there's a road spring breaker type deal, road break for AEW. And next month, we're getting into live events for AEW, for SmackDown, and for Raw. So Money in the Bank will be live in person for people next month. So really good stuff coming down the pipeline. But let's first get into Raw. Then we'll get into SmackDown, take a short break, give you some AEW stuff, take one more break, and then get into our NXT predictions. So good stuff happening. Let's go ahead and talk about Raw. Some people are very hit or miss on it. I will get into Shayna Baszler. Let's kind of get started with the big stuff. I think that was Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley agreeing to a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell. So, nothing really groundbreaking here other than a table breaking put together by Drew McIntyre with his big gigantic sword. So they agreed to the match. Also, the other stipulation is Drew McIntyre, if he loses, can no longer challenge for the title as long as Bobby Lashley holds it. That's the big stipulation there, as long as Bobby Lashley holds it. So anybody else who holds it, Drew McIntyre can challenge for it. But really interested to see where Drew will go because I think he's going to lose this match. Monday night, he's got a match against AJ Styles, so that'll be a good match to kind of see him go at. But, after this, I'm not sure. And then as far as Lashley goes, we're hearing I keep saying the big money match is Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. Reports are saying Lesnar's not interested. There's no talk about it. So I don't know what else they're going to do for Lashley as far as SummerSlam, because SummerSlam, the reports are saying they're going to treat it like WrestleMania. You're going to have another big event with people there in Las Vegas, the first event at the Allegiant Stadium. So you want to do it up. And, I feel like that should almost be a ending to start the new season for WWE, especially if there's going to be a draft at the end of August. So I'm really curious to see what other big money match we could put out there for Lashley, because right now it's Lesnar. I just don't know who else. So some other things on Raw. Viking Raiders won a tag team battle royal. Nothing much to talk about there. I did think it was kind of dumb. We had John Morrison defending his team, and we had Lindsay Dorado representing his team, the Lucha House Party. Why not just have why not just have Lindsay Dorado, John Morrison team up together? Just get a one-off tag team title shot. It's not going to make a big deal in the long run, but I just thought them being singles guys and representing their tag teams in a tag team battle royale was kind of dumb, but I think the right team won. I was pulling for Mason T-Bar. I think, you want to give them something, see how they can do against AJ and almost, but Viking Raiders are your most solid team, so why not just have them? So since you have RK Bro, Matt Riddle, and Randy Orton kind of going against the New Day a lot. So Jackson Riker defeated Elias by countout. So we're playing up Jackson Riker as a babyface in here. I guess the only way that works is if you play up his military background and kind of, play that to the crowd. But I have no interest in Jackson Riker as a baby face. And, Elias, I keep wanting Elias to do something more, and he just doesn't. He just is kind of there. So I almost wouldn't be surprised if Elias was, they're talking about next round of cuts. I mean, is Elias on there? Maybe. But, I'm just curious about that. Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo ended a double count out. So we're obviously going to get the triple threat match. It will be Sheamus, Humberto Carrillo, and Ricochet going at each other. I would think that would kick off, be a kickoff match for Hell in a Cell. Maybe you could slide to the card if you don't think you have enough matches. But right now, I think we're looking at 4 or so matches. So maybe you just put this on the main card and give it some, a few extra minutes for that. So but I don't see any title change. I mean, I would like maybe Ricochet to get it, but I just don't see Sheamus losing it right now. And then, like we said, the open challenge where he just, lets people challenge him without getting a title shot, I think is kind of interesting and different. So, Sheamus has been a long-time player and just works really hard. So, if Sheamus keeps the whole title till SummerSlam and then let somebody win it there and kind of have that big moment, that's fine with me. Jeff Hardy defeated Cedric Alexander. No reason for Cedric Alexander to be losing if we're trying to build him up. I'm going to assume next week Cedric Alexander will beat Jeff Hardy, but I am excited to see Jeff Hardy with his No More Words music, the old, Jeff Hardy music back, because that was talked about if crowds are coming back. So, you put him in the Money in the Bank match, you have him come out to that music and kind of let that play. So, Nikki Cross and Asuka defeated Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. We had the whole Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Are they going to coexist? They didn't, and they lost. And we're going to have all four of these women kind of involved in the women's title picture. I really think Becky Lynch is needed on, Raw to kind of get back with, against Rhea. She can go against Asuka a little bit. Maybe she wants, to get, go back at Asuka for, taking the title. But her and Charlotte obviously have beef. So I think Becky Lynch, if she's going to go back, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley for SummerSlam, I think would be a huge match. And I think that's where I would go with that. Mansoor defeated Drew Gulak. We had Ali trying to get him back, get him on his side. I wonder if we'll just pull the trigger on that, maybe to kind of give both those guys something. It almost creates a tag team as well. So, nothing much there. But Kofi Kingston defeated Riddle with pinfall. So I guess now we'll probably have Randy Orton trying to defeat Kofi Kingston or defeat Xavier Woods. So, we're just getting these tag teams going at each other. Yes, I kind of rushed through because we got to get to the end of the night, and that's what everybody was talking about. I personally liked it. We had Shayna Baszler stepping up to Alexa Bliss, stepping up to Lily, and, stepping on Lily, and then things went haywire. I think Shayna Baszler's kind of enjoying it. I feel like she's a big horror movie fan, and that's what this felt like. So, it's a different side for her. I'm willing to roll with it. We'll see what kind of match Alexa Bliss and Shayna Baszler will pull off. But I'm kind of into this, and I know a lot of people hate it. They said it's too out there. But, the Lily character is too out there. So, you kind of have to roll with the idea that, yes, this, doll is doing something superficial, beyond her powers. And, she could take out Shayna Baszler, who's one of your toughest women. So, I like it. I like that Nia Jax was trying to step up and say, I'm there for you if you need me. But Shayna's like, no, I got this. And then Shayna ends up scared to death of dolls. So I personally liked it. I want to see what's going to happen next. Where's the next progression? Do they do a match at Hell in a Cell? Do they do it on Raw? What does Lily just show up? Does somebody beat Lily, become Lily? There's different options you can go. So that was my Raw kind of, 5-6 minute Raw review. Like I said, I think I like the McIntyre, Drew, or Bobby Lashley stuff, especially with the stipulation that Drew can't challenge for the title as long as Bobby's holding it, which, that makes that maybe at WrestleMania time of next year, Drew can get back in that title hunt, get back to, maybe holding the title and get a big win in Dallas or wherever. I think it's in Texas, wherever they're going to be in Texas next year. So, so some good things on Raw. We're just, it still feels like it's just treading water. And you look at SmackDown and there's a lot more storylines going on, a lot more character movement, but I don't know if it's going to take the crowd back or what, but something needs to kind of happen to Raw to get it back going to where it needs to be. So we look at SmackDown. We'll kind of look at our big picture for SmackDown. Take a small break, give you some elite performance, commercial break, get into AEW, give you one more commercial break, and then we'll get into our final predictions and kind of close up shop here. Like I said, I write solo to give you my thoughts on Raw. And let's look at SmackDown. So SmackDown, the big news there was Rey Mysterio calling out Roman Reigns, asking for a Hell in a Cell match, which I thought maybe Bayley and Bianca should be that, with them feuding. But I guess you could play up that, this is a dad trying to defend his son. So I'm not bored by it, I promise. Should have slept in a little bit later today, but I'm bored. I'm not bored by the Mysterio stuff. And also, we still got the Jay and Jimmy stuff happening with Roman. So there's a lot of interesting directions there. But, I think Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, first time ever in the cell. I think that should open the night. Maybe Dominic gets involved. But, this is Roman, obviously, to just dominate. And that's another name. What's his big match for SummerSlam? Because right now it's hard telling. I mean, maybe Cena, you kind of revisit that. I do think John Cena's heading to SmackDown. Probably that first SmackDown Live. I think you want that big pop. You want all the big pops that night to get people excited. So it wouldn't surprise me if John Cena's there and wants to challenge Roman, no matter what happens at Money in the Bank. So, I'm really curious to see what is the plan for Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Some other things that happened. Let's get to Liv Morgan. She got a nice win over Carmella, but then Carmella got the win last week, and Carmella's playing up her title of the most beautiful woman in WWE. I think that's fine. It gives her some sort of moniker. It gives her something, but I would like Liv Morgan to keep picking up wins, but I don't think Liv Morgan gets the best of this feud. And she's another name I'll be curious to see, if there's another cut, another release, does she just head off and, kind of do her own thing? But right now, she picked up a good win. Also, Kevin Owens defeated Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn via pinfall when Owens hit a stunner on Zayn. Sami was trying to blame Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz for the loss. Aziz takes out Sami Zayn with the Samoan spike, the Nigerian nail. And Sami Zayn did a nice WWE exclusive where he was playing up like this and talking like this because he was trying to portray how much it hurt, just like Kevin Owens. So next week we'll see Kevin Owens and Big E go at Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz, which will be kind of Aziz's debut on SmackDown. He was part of Raw Underground. He got beat by Braun Strowman on Raw on Monday Night Raw. So technically he's wrestled before, but it will be kind of interesting to see, what he does in the ring now this time around as his new character. Let's talk about a great segment on Ding Dong Hello with Bayley. We had a lot of laughing. I started laughing myself because you had Seth Rollins show clips, you had Bayley showing clips, you had them laughing. There was a doorbell ring, and we all knew I was assuming it might be Bianca, but I'm like, oh, that's Cesaro. And Seth opens up the door, and it's Cesaro, just beats the heck out of him, right down to his underwear. That's right. He just ripped off the pants, destroys the set. Bayley gets upset because her set is destroyed. She had a new set. And then Bianca Belair comes out there and starts laughing. So we need a laughing on a pole match. I don't know. But anyway, so I would have loved to see Cesaro and Seth Rollins in the cell. I think they could have really done some magic in there. I think we'll get a straight up match, but there's got to be some stipulation, to attach to it to kind of build off what Cesaro's doing. Maybe Cesaro is Roman Reigns' big opponent for SummerSlam. I don't think he wins it, but, he can get that big money match there. So, and then, of course, Bianca Belair and Bayley. There was another names, I thought, well, maybe they could have their cell match, but I think they'll just get a strap, just get a regular match. Maybe Sasha comes out there and wrecks it because I think that needs to be this SummerSlam match. I know we're moving ahead past Money in the Bank, but if we're thinking longer term, SummerSlam being bigger and better and badder than ever, I do think you need Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Bianca Belair because those three ladies on SmackDown are at the top of the heap right now. We haven't seen Sasha, probably just taking the break, getting her mind right, but I do think we'll see Sasha back. I would say maybe not Hell in a Cell, but maybe Money in the Bank. So Montez Ford defeated Chad Gable. The big story here was we had Otis working clean shaven. He took out Dawkins, and then he thinks that Gable's going to lose, so he takes out Montez Ford and totally takes him out to where WWE is playing up that Montez Ford was taken to a local medical facility, and they had to, run tests on him and kind of see how he is. So still getting that tag team feud kind of going as well. And then finally, we had Shinsuke Nakamura defeat King Corbin. Shinsuke gets the crown back. I think we need ultimately this to end up in some sort. Well, now they're going to do Battle for the Crown because each guy's won 2 matches. So at least you have some stipulation. I would have loved to see this, the return of the King of the Ring somehow tied into this, but I think Corbin's going to get the win over Nakamura. Maybe Rick Boogs, Boogs kind of cost Nakamura the match, and then you have Nakamura and Rick Boogs kind of go at it, but I do think Baron Corbin gets the best of this, unfortunately, as much as I would like to see Baron Corbin not get the best of it. And I would love to see Nakamura with his own crown and all that. So that's my Raw and SmackDown report right there. We'll get some AEW stuff that happened last night. Then we'll give you the NXT stuff. But let's take a quick commercial break to give you a little Elite Performance commercial talk. So there you go. Get in touch with Elite Performance if you need all your fitness needs. AEW had quite the show last night. A lot of stuff kind of packed together. We had Christian Cage defeat Angelico of TH2. We had Matt Hardy out there. We had Christian Cage out there. We had Jungle Boy come make the save. Matt Hardy and Christian have only fought once before, I believe, one-on-one in early mid-2000s. So at least it's kind of a fresh matchup for those two. I'm not digging Christian right now in AEW. I don't know. I know he looks good. He looks like he wants to do things, but him and Matt Hardy, that's a feud that, I don't know. We just don't need it because you look at, those are two guys that are veterans. They've been in the business for years and years and years. Why not work with the younger talent? I mean, I guess they're working with the younger talent, but at the same time, we're going to see a one-off match probably between them and, kind of move on. Cody Rhodes, I know all the eye rolls will happen here because he had another special announcement. So, he's had the pregnancy announcement. He's had the gender reveal. He's had the American Dream announcement. I mean, he is the king of announcements right now. So this announcement, though, was made by Tony Schiavone, which was going to bring up Brock Anderson. I thought they were going to say Brock Lesnar, but I was like, well, that's crazy. So it's Brock Anderson, who is Arn Anderson's son, will get a debut match with Cody Rhodes. So it'll be Cody Rhodes, Brock Anderson versus QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. And I'm going to assume we'll see the best of what Arn Anderson's son can do, Brock, there. And I'm wondering if you might write off Cody Rhodes soon because of the baby thing, but, because he's going to be a first-time dad. So I know they've written off John Moxley because Renee Paquette will be dropping her baby soon. I mean, she's literally going to drop that baby soon. So, and I would think Brandy Rose is close too. So we'll see. This whole factory, Nightmare family stuff, it just got to be done. I mean, I know some people said the Pinnacle and Inner Circle stuff should be done, but technically those teams are 1-1. This is just all over the place. You had Cody Rhodes beat, Anthony Ogogo. Then you had QT Marshall pin Cody Rhodes with the help of Gogo. And I don't know. Then you had Dustin Rhodes beat Nick Carmouto in the bull rope match. And now you're going to do a strap match at, I believe it's July 7th for AEW between QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes. There's just a lot of moving parts, but I feel like there's no connection there. People are done with it. It needs to be done sooner rather than later. We also had Pac, Penta, and Kingston. So Penta El Cerro, Eddie Kingston defeat the Young Bucks and Cutler. Brandon Cutler, decent match. I thought Brandon Cutler looked out of his element, but that was what the whole point was. And you did see the Good Brothers make a run in at the end. Then you had Frankie Kazarian make a run in at the end. So, if we have Kingston and Frankie Kazarian kind of team up against a good brother for a little bit, that's fine. The Pinnacle responded to Stadium Stampede. Wardlow said he will take on Jake Hager. You had FTR, kind of answer Santana and Ortiz, but nothing really settled there. You had MJF say he's not going to give Chris Jericho a match, but you had Sammy Guevara say he wants a match. You had Shawn Spears out there. The big thing was the Inner Circle was back there with the limousine. That was the Pinnacles. They destroyed it. I still think maybe at All Out we'll get some final rubber match between the two teams. We're going to do these, offshoots of the feuds for the summer, and then AEW All Out in Chicago in September, Labor Day weekend. I don't know what you're going to do, though. I mean, you've already had the Stadium Stampede. You've had the, blood and guts. What can be in your like I said, maybe some sort of elimination style Survivor Series type match, maybe. But I'll be curious to see what they pull off there. Miro defeated Uno. Nothing much there. The Dark Order came out and, was disappointed. And the Dark Order, is just kind of treading water right now. I don't know. The Brody Lee stuff, yes, tragedy, won't be able to recapture that. So I don't know what you can do in the meantime. But Uno getting a title shot was cool to see. Miro keeps rolling along, and I don't know who's next for Miro. So we'll see who is next. Kenny Omega had a message for Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy said, "You talk too much." They fought, and Jungle Boy almost put him in the snare trap, which they played up as nobody's ever escaped, which will mean that Kenny Omega is going to escape it Saturday, June 26th, when they face each other for the AEW World Title. Kenny Omega, I believe, tonight is facing Moose for the Impact Wrestling Championship. I'll be curious to see or hear about the results of that. I don't think Kenny Omega's losing that. I think you just keep him rolling along, and eventually Hangman Adam Page should be the one at AEW All Out to dethrone. I mean, we thought Britt Baker had all the momentum. I think we're building that up for Adam Page as well. So we also talked about Sting and Darby Allin. Darby Allin said he doesn't need a partner, so he's going to go a handicap match to go against Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, the new men of the year, as they're calling themselves. They have a shirt and everything. Obviously, they kind of mocked Darby for, talking that up, but we'll see that match, I believe, next week. Lance Archer defeated a guy named Hopkins. Nothing much there because Lance Archer, I think, is treading water. We've already had him, lose to Miro. He was going after Darby, or was kind of teaming up with Darby Allin when Darby Allin had the TNT title, but we can't really do that anymore. So I have no idea what to do with Lance Archer. I don't think they know what to do with him either. And, it is what it is, but I don't know where you can go with him. So Nyla Rose defeating Layla Hirsch. Just a good win for Nyla Rose to build up her and Britt Baker coming up soon. I don't know when, but they should go at it for the title. And then Hangman Page and Vance, 10 of the Dark Order defeated Brian Cage and Will Hobbs. The big story here was Ricky Starks tried to give Brian Cage, the title to take out, the Dark Order guys, but Brian Cage threw it away. He's completely out of Team Taz now. I don't know if you replace him with somebody else or does Team Taz kind of, just dissipate now, but we don't know what Ricky Starks. I've heard there's some injury there that he might not be able to come back from, or he could come back from, or, you still got Hobbs and then you have Hook, who's Taz's son, but right now, just Team Taz needs somebody else in that to kind of replace Brian Cage. And is this going to be the offshoot that Brian Cage needs to kind of build himself back up? So good win for Hangman Page, celebrating in the ring afterwards. And yeah, but that's kind of all I got on AEW. Let's take another commercial break for some Realty talk. Sean Nugent is your man. Get all your Realty talk taken care of.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Shawn at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSports1.com sent you.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. That's right there, as you can see on the off to my side, NXT In Your House Takeover special for tomorrow night, live on Peacock. I think it's going to be a good kind of under the radar show. There's some great matches planned. And, I think these it feels like there's not a lot of buzz to it. And sometimes those over deliver and kind of deliver more than what we thought. So let's start at the bottom. We have Mercedes Martinez versus Xia Li. Xia Li is going to roll through her. I think Mercedes gets a couple shots in, but Xia Li totally takes it over. I wonder if we'll see Tian Sha kind of do the smoke like she did to, I think it was Casey Castanzaro, and she did to Jaden Reamer, or Caden Carter, whoever that is, wherever Casey and Caden. So, but Xia Li gets the win here. Next up, this match, I have no idea. I need like a coin toss to figure out which way this goes. We got Cameron Grimes, LA Knight in a ladder match for the $1 million championship. That's right. So a couple nights ago, we had $1 Million Man on TV with, the priceless announcement, which was a ladder match. And he said, he wants those guys to shoot for the moon and reach for the stars and all this and grab the brass ring. And Cameron Grimes is like, no, what are we actually grabbing? And then he presented the the $1 million title. So what better way to kind of settle this, feud, if it is settled between these two guys? I'll go LA Knight. I think LA Knight would portray it better. So I'm going to go LA Knight. But either guy wins. I think it's going to be fun to see what the guys do with it. Now, next up, we have a winner take all, which we kind of called a 6-man tag. So North American champion, Bronson Reed, NXT champions, tag team champions, MSK versus Legado de Fantasma. So there's Santos Escobar, Fiend, Joaquin, and Joaquin Wild, and the other guy who's, of course, name's escaping me. But this is all going to be MSK and Bronson Reed. Doesn't matter who is on the other side. And then I do think Legado Fantasma needs to get called up and kind of go to Raw, build up that tag team. Santos Escobar could be another singles guy that, gets in the U.S. title picture or something like that. So this is all for MSK and Bronson Reed to pick up a win. Oh, man. This is horrible. I need a yawn button today. NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon. I think this would be a good match, a good win for Raquel Gonzalez. Don't think we see the turn from Dakota Kai yet, but if we did, it would be something to kind of build for NXT at SummerSlam weekend if they do that, maybe on that Friday night. So SummerSlam will be Saturday, August 21st, and I'm going to assume, unless you do NXT like Wednesday, Thursday, maybe you do something like that because you will have SmackDown. So you might do NXT that week, like Wednesday, Thursday type show. So maybe you want the big money match of Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, the split, or do you do? I almost think you pull the trigger there, then you have them feud throughout the fall. But that's just my own booking. So finally, Karrion Kross, the NXT champion, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne. I'm seeing a lot of people say that, Karrion Kross is probably going to lose here. I don't think it's time yet. Yes, he's had some title defenses but I feel like he just won. It's kind of fresh. I think if you let it play out till that whole SummerSlam weekend and then you call him up, especially in the draft, I think that would be a better way. You kind of give him a build and all that. Right now, I just don't think it just doesn't make sense right now to call him up. So I'm calling for Karrion Kross to keep the title, and I don't know who's going to beat him, but there's rumors NXT officials want Samoa Joe back. Could you maybe give Samoa Joe a small run with the title? I think Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross is a match that would be good for that weekend of SummerSlam, but Karrion Kross wins. I think everybody kind of gets their own moments in there. Maybe there's some offshoots of, what feuds could go next. Maybe we get Pete Dunne and Adam Cole going at it. Maybe Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly going at it. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole go at it for another final time. So there's definitely offshoots you could do, but I don't think the time is right for Karrion Kross to lose, so I'm going to call him the win. So I got Karrion Kross winning. I have Raquel Gonzalez winning. I have Bronson Reed and MSK winning. So I have all the champions retaining. I'm going to go with LA Knight and, of course, Xia Li. Those are my predictions. Give me your own thoughts, your own predictions. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to win? Let's do a quick break and then close up shop. I wanted to get you some Rogue energy because, as you could tell, looks like I need some of that Rogue energy with how tired I am feeling right now. But I got my energy in, and let's get it rocking with Rogue energy. Alrighty, and that is it. That's my show. Thank you for watching. Catch NXT tomorrow night on the Peacock Network. If you got it, definitely worth it. It's got some good stuff on there, so catch NXT. And then we're going to head right into Hell in a Cell next week. So far, we've got, it looks like we're going to get Roman and Rey Mysterio in the cell. Looks like we are definitely going to, or we're officially getting Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley in the cell. Probably Bianca Belair and Bayley, Cesaro and Seth Rollins. I think we got some great matches happening for Hell in a Cell and a good time. So thank you for watching. Go follow me on Superkick with Steven right there at the Facebook page. Thank you for catching me on BW Sports 1 Facebook page. Go to that page, like it, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching me on YouTube, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.